Let me just start out by kind of going over a few things that we're doing as utility workers and where we need to do and what we need to do. You know, brothers and sisters, you look around the country, you look in different states, you see SB 5 in Ohio, the effort and energy that went in. A lot of our members went to Ohio, that live in Ohio, to be able to fight that back. You see these attacks that are going on labor, Wisconsin. That hopefully will come to a conclusion in June, and they'll throw that dirty bastard out of as governor, Scott Walker.
Yeah.
But you see what's taking place in Indiana. In the attacks here in Michigan, we're constantly fighting some version of right to work. In some way, you know, if it's not to cut dues off, to make collective bargaining literally illegal, to make it illegal to strike. I mean, you see all these issues. It's coming at us. You know, the right wing has really overreached here. But if you think about some of the things that we're doing as utility workers, I view if right to work comes in, it really won't make that big a difference due to the fact that we're trying to bring in the skills training through our Power for America Training Trust. We're working with all of you right now, with consumers, to start out with the appliance repair. We're working in Chicago, People's Gas. We're working with other utilities, National Grid, trying with Detroit Edison. Hey, if a member's getting his skills training through the union, he's a lot less apt to say, I don't want to belong to a union, right? Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, from linemen to power plant operators, to call center people, to gas workers, to water workers throughout the country, our goal is to capture the skills training, safety training, you know, your apprenticeship programs, DOL certification. You know, that's the gold card. When you get that DOL certified apprenticeship program, you can take that anywhere. So those are some of the things that we're doing to fight right to work. Because, you know, we have high union density in some right to work states. Wyoming, I think we like 99% of our members out there are in the union. That's pretty phenomenal if you think about it. It's because of the work that we do, the skills that we carry. You all hear me talk time and time again about the first responders, but I was so proud a couple weeks ago to be out in Chicago with People's Gas, Integris, with our local union out there, 18007. What we did is we partnered up with the state of Illinois. We partnered up with People's Gas. Through the Power for America Training Trust, they're going to hire 400 gas workers over the next 4 years, so 100 a year. We're going to be training them. But you know, these workers, who they're going to be? They're going to hire veterans coming back. What better than It's such an honor, it's such a great day to be out there, to be presenting that to the whole state of Illinois, the city of Chicago. My hat's off to the governor out there, Pat Quinn, to the president of that company out there, to our local union who really brought all this together, stuck with it. So that's a great thing. And if you think about that, I mean, look what we do. We're in the trenches day in, day out. First responders, you know, disaster time, we go in, we rebuild, we reconnect, no matter what it is, gas, electric, and water. But look at these vets. Their lives are on the line every day too, just like our folks are. You know, they're the first responders. Hell, they've rebuilt Afghanistan and Iraq, right? So we should be giving these folks the first opportunity to come into the door, and created a new classification called a utility worker in the gas company there. So it's not overstepping seniority rights of people in the company. So I'm saying this stuff to you because we need to expand that. We passed a motion at our executive board meeting, the National Executive Board, for every local to present that veterans at every company that they work, to ask the companies to hire vets. It's that important, brothers and sisters. You know, we've been in the war for how long now? Many, many years. And these kids are coming back. The suicide rate is through the roof. It's scary. But saying that, at our regional conferences this year, we're holding them in strategic states. Matter of fact, our executive board meeting that we just had, we held it in Boston. And why would you say Boston? What's significant about Boston? Anybody know?
Margaret Warren.
What was that?
Margaret Warren.
Elizabeth Warren.
Sorry.
We had a fundraiser up there. We held a reception. We had over 100 people attend that fundraiser. We collected a lot of money. People reached in their personal pockets. We maxed out through the Coke fund that we could. But other officers, other staff, people wrote checks out of their pocket. Local 369, one of our largest locals up in the Northeast, they participated. They came there. And Joe Kennedy was there. It's important, folks. This election, 2012, anybody think it's important? Yeah. Okay, we're holding the Region 3 conference next week in Columbus. Why in Columbus? Shared ground. Michigan, it's going to be in Lansing. Who do we got to get elected?
Stabenow.
Debbie Stabenow. Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, we're holding a region conference. Bob Casey. These are names that we have to get elected to maintain the Senate. Brothers and sisters, if this election in 2012 runs amok, just think if Romney got elected. You know who he'd make Secretary of Labor? We have a friend as Secretary of Labor. He'd probably make Scott Walker. You know? Whoa. That's what we're up against. That's what we're facing. That's how important this election is. So that's why I'm going to ask all of you in this room to bring some of your members to our regional conference. The day of the reception, I don't know what night it's going to be yet, because we're working around Stabenow's schedule and some other politicians, to come by, introduce yourself. Let them know that you're going to help out. And if you can, reach into your pocket. I don't care if it's $5, $10, $20, whatever you could afford. Because we can't compete with the Koch brothers, these super PACs out there. There's no way in the world that we, as a union, or the labor movement, could compete with that. But what we can compete with is all of you in this room. You know, boots on the ground. It's important. This is the single most important election of my lifetime. Do you know what's at stake here? Union rights, right? Yeah. Voting rights, voting suppression, it's unbelievable what they're trying to do in some of these states. Women's rights, human rights. These are all things that are at stake in this election. You know, and I hear the gun issue so many times. You know, that crazy bastard Ted Nugent, I used to like him. You know? But I'm going to tell you what, between myself and Steve Van Sloten, we probably got more guns than most third world nations have. You know, ain't nobody taking my guns. You know, I hunt, I fish, I'll have a cocktail or two, you know, but nobody's taking my guns. They'll never take that. But if I don't have a job, because, you know, they want Walmart to solve us what they want to do. I mean, you got a guy running for president with Swiss bank accounts. What does that tell you? You know, that's pretty scary. That is pretty scary. You know, the autos, look at Chrysler. They've announced, I mean, they're just thriving right now. He was just willing to let them out too. And I know you're all hearing this stuff, and you're going to get inundated. You know, it's going to be hard to turn the TV on, isn't it? Because, you know, it's like you're going to get carpet bombed with these ads. You know, you're talking $1 billion each party. I mean, how are you going to hear anything else? Turn the TV on, right? You know? And none of it will be the truth. That's the scariest part of it all. And, you know, and again, I know you all know a lot of this stuff, but, you know, we're reaching out. These conferences, regional conferences, first off, we called them legislative conferences. I said, no, let's change that. It's not legislative conference. They're going to be political conferences. But I said, let's call them Victory 2012 conferences. How's that sound? Isn't that better? Yeah. So again, if you can, please, every one of you show up in Lansing to that reception. We'll get you the date, the time, the location. Bring somebody else with you, just to introduce yourself to some of these politicians, the ones that we have to get elected. We cannot afford to lose the Senate. What I keep telling folks, we're adopting these senators. And I say adopting them. If we get the people out to vote for Debbie Stabenow, Sherrod Brown, and Casey, the rest will fall into place. You know, the rest of the Democratic Party will fall into place. But we've got to get the people out for Stabenow and others. You know, I live here in this state. lived here all my life, and it's important to me what takes place. And I've never seen some of the things that are taking place. You see with these supermajorities, you know, a lot of people I heard even earlier here today say, you know, it's not been like Wisconsin. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been worse than Wisconsin, what's taking place here. It's just, he's flying under the radar screen. You know, he's slashing us with 1,000 swipes with that razor blade, and people don't even realize they're bleeding out there. You know, what they've done to the teachers in this state. It's just, it's amazing. This guy is just flying totally under the radar screen. Pat, you know, I mean, you see what's happening there. With that petition drive, the font was the wrong font. You know, isn't that amazing? You could disqualify something because of the size of the font. I could see if it was so small you couldn't read it. But I signed one of those petitions. I mean, it looked like a normal thing to me, you know. But again, I know you all got a lot of work going on here. But there's a lot of good stuff going on with the utility workers and what's going on around the country. But you know, we can't take it for granted. We got to continue to work hard. We got to continue to move forward. We got to continue to, you know, skills, I keep saying, I can't say it enough. We got to all be continuous learners. You know, we're working with community colleges. We're working for that registered apprenticeship program. You know, everybody in our industry is highly skilled. Every one of you sitting in this room. You ought to be proud of who you are and what you do for the communities. I'm proud of you. You know, I mean, I came out of the ranks and used to work swing shift. That's why I got gray hair, I think, was that damn swing shift, you know. Never slept. But listen, I know you've got a lot of work. I always appreciate you having the opportunity to come here to speak to you all. I'm going to hang around for a few minutes, but I do have to run. And again, it's always great seeing you.